Yo, what is up, my friends? It's Hippo, and yes, I shaved. We don't need to talk about it. I never made my way down to the theater to see Karate Kid Legends when it came out just last May, but I certainly thought about it. I mean, I quite enjoy both Karate Kid movies, though I haven't watched Cobra Kai. The first trailer to Karate Kid Legends looked okay to me, but then it came out, and the critical reception that it got was basically one big meh, which I hate to admit definitely affected my decision to go see the movie. I did, of course, want to check it out regardless of its critical reception, but I'm broke, and poorly received legacy sequels just aren't on my priority for when I go to the theater. But it just dropped on Netflix, and so finally I was able to watch it. I have some opinions. I'm going to start with negatives because that's probably better for retention, and keep in mind there will be spoilers for probably all three Karate Kid movies, though the other two more mildly. I would say that the largest problem at the core of Karate Kid Legends is simply its inability to sit with itself. It's poorly paced, moving at breakneck speeds, never allowing the emotions or relationships at play to become meaningful. There are tons of examples here, but for my money, the most egregious is the way they choose to address the familial conflict at the heart of the movie. The moral clash between our protagonist, aforementioned Karate Kid, Lee, and his mom. No violence. This is what she says to him, and it's reinforced multiple times.
I thought I was clear. No fighting. No fighting.
We learn that Lee's dead brother taught him kung fu, and bringing that violence into their home begetted violence back onto them. As such, his mom begs him to vow to never fight again. No more violence. Before the climax, mother and son have never been more separate. Their relationship is on the brink. How do we address the moral conflict at the heart of our story? What place does violence have in a society? How can that affect the average person and their family? This is the thesis statement of the film, the moral dilemma proposed to us at the very beginning. Jackie Chan will randomly change the mom's mind in the middle of a completely unrelated training montage, and that'll be the end of that. Lee and his mom will never resolve this problem on their own. Uncle Jackie Chan does. It's an incredibly odd way to handle the main conflict between two of your main characters, and at that same time, it kind of makes sense. They can't really write a real resolution to that because the movie has to end with a big karate tournament for money where a bunch of people are being violent with each other. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a Karate Kid movie, don't you know? We can't have a real opinion on violence in society because our movie is about violence for society and how that can enrich you. And this movie cares more about nostalgia baiting the Karate Kid franchise than it does telling a new, fresh, unique story. The movie's moral lesson, then, I can only surmise, is that in the wake of tragedy, it's okay to project your revenge fantasies out onto the populace and engage in fight clubs for money. Doing this, actually, is the best way to reclaim your dignity. Beating up people for money. That's not the only example, though. This movie is rushing itself through emotional beats at every corner. Let's look at another one and compare it to a similar beat in the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie. Both of these movies actually have the exact same setup. Kid has single mom, does not want to move across the country, or to a different country. In the Jaden Smith Karate Kid film, he's sad. He laments. We see him say goodbye to his community. We see the solemn plane ride over to China. We see him struggle to fit in, ultimately leading to conflict at school and conflict at home. In Karate Kid Legends, Lee learns about the move, then he's sad for like 20 seconds before we smash cut to the new country, and we don't spend really any time on his frustrations regarding the move or struggling to fit in or make friends. We've covered more ground quickly in Karate Kid Legends, but for what? I mean, it's not a race. What's the point of this plot moment if the main concern is getting it over with? Like I said, this movie cannot sit with itself. Another example of this would be the copious amount of montages throughout the film. A montage is not inherently bad, but when a movie is using montages every 20 minutes of runtime, they become a crutch. Using montages like this will always have diminishing returns. What starts as a snappy way to give information to the audience that doesn't interrupt pacing goes to a shortcut, one that you're expecting to see every single time something new happens in the story. You could say this movie has severe music video syndrome, these snappy, quick montages with poor, fast-paced editing, and really bad needle drops. They play California Love when Jackie Chan goes to California to find Ralph Macchio, and then the second time we go back to California, they play it again. Benson Boone's mystical, magical Moonbeam Ice Cream dancing in the blue jeans does indeed play during a scene where it makes absolutely no sense. Beyond the fact that it's been trendy to hate on Benson Boone, I just can't fathom why a song with the vibe of Moonbeam Ice Cream, Mystical Magical, whatever it's called, would fit with this scene. All of these things lead me to believe that the film just doesn't have confidence that it's going to hold the viewer in. It's very much giving movie made for second screening while you use your phone at the same time. You can see this through the dead brother plotline a lot. That sounds so weird to say. There are 4 or 5 shots of the brother and like a street in this movie that you get to see like 10 times throughout the film. And any moment that could call back to these shots, they will. If there is an image that you are meant to decipher or a visual parallel that they want you to see, you will see it. There will not be any chance for reflection upon what the movie might want you to feel. It's just going to politely tell you that we're doing a visual parallel now. So, according to this, we can basically understand it that his girlfriend is his mom, and his girlfriend's dad is his brother. I have not given this movie enough credit. It's clearly clawing at some pretty Odyssean themes, and I'm not sure that I'm smart enough to decipher those. Let's compare this to some visual language we get from, I don't know, the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie. Today, we're going to be discovering how we can use color to paint the emotional through line our characters have in a scene. So, starting out, we know that blue is a very, and bear with me while I learn how to use this here. So, starting out throughout the film, we know that Dre is blue, right? Blue. What else can blue mean? Well, perhaps a sadness, something that we know Dre is. Meanwhile, we have the love interest Mei Ying dressed in green. I don't have a green pen. Next, we will see Dre walk towards the red, but Mei Ying, his love interest, is green. She, though, is also in the red. Look now as we watch Dre leave the red and go back into the blue, because meanwhile, of course, there is a play with a red figure over here and a blue figure over here. But take note of this third person over here, the yellow one. What is yellow but a combination of blue and green? And we see as the play is resolved, blue and red fall in love. But Mei Ying is not dressed in red. Interestingly here, as we see them both sitting together in the light, red is surrounding Dre. And as he leans to kiss her, he once again leaves the red. I don't really know where I was going with this, but notice how much better it looks than Karate Kid Legends. This movie is just generally very poorly edited. From the momentary editing, like weird slow-mo and cuts in the action, to the scene-to-scene editing. And to harken even more on that, let's look at how this movie chooses to introduce and develop some of its side characters. The antagonist boy. Every Karate Kid movie has one. You have to have a big buff boy to be a bully. And he also has to be the ex of the love interest because it's a Karate Kid movie. That's just what you gotta do. Karate Kid Legends just consistently makes the bold choice to not stand out from any other Karate Kid movie. And whilst in 2010, we had Chang absolutely eviscerating Dre on the playground, drop kicking him for doing absolutely nothing and then emoting on his body, in 2025, we get Connor. Connor is very strange and generic and boring. He sucker punches 2 people in less than 5 minutes and like instantly violates the physical boundaries of his ex-girlfriend. He's giving, I will physically abuse you the moment I wear you down enough to move in with me.
Move.
Why should I?
He's also racist if you needed more reason to hate the guy. Which, wait a minute. This all sounds very similar. Like Chang from the 2010 Karate Kid movie, right? I mean, he hates Dre, at least in part, because he's black. He beats you up at the first sign of inconvenience, and he violates the physical boundaries of Mei Ying. Huh. There is, of course, a friend in this movie as well. So at first, he's an SAT tutor hired by Lee's mom, but in a really magical, impressive move, the film decides to turn him from SAT tutor to Barney Stinson without any development. You know how in How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson, like the origin story, he just walks up to Ted and he's like, Ted, I'm gonna be your wingman and teach you how to live now. This guy basically does that, but I guess off screen, because the next time we see him after he's hired as an SAT tutor, he's like wingmanning for Lee to get with the pizza girl. He's like a watered down version of the purple-haired freak from A Silent Voice.
You and I is friends. It can be as simple as that, see?
This magical character is played by Wyatt Oleff, who I must say I was happy to see. He's one of the It kids. He's, young Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. Pretty cool. Now, of course, there is the pizza family, the love interest and her dad. They're like all right, I guess, but kind of just like basic. Yacht! Never mind. Ooh-wee. This isn't a montage, by the way. I will give a prop to this film. It is almost set up like a bizarro Karate Kid, at least at first. It's like this kid who is already a master at kung fu and fighting, and then he trains an old guy, which that's not how that's supposed to go. He even has his own like jacket on, jacket off with like, make the pizza, pizza man. And I mean, that's pretty cool.
I make 100 pies a day. I know how to make pizza, Lee.
Show me.
But they don't actually commit to this. Exactly halfway through the film, the dad character that he's been training will get punched out and rendered incapacitated for the rest of the narrative. And so Lee must, you guessed it, enter a karate tournament. The karate tournament in this movie is really weird. It's like an underground fight club that gets streamed on Twitch. What is going on here? What is this thing? They started to give you this bizarro mirror universe Karate Kid, and then halfway through the movie bail on that bit to go back to standard Karate Kid fare. Yes, this movie is, of course, in the Karate Kid verse. It brings back, former karate people, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. Even archival footage of Pat Morita's Mr. Miyagi is back. Okay, why isn't Jaden Smith in this movie? In this proposed connected storyline that brings together all of the old Karate Kids and karate teachers, where is the second Karate Kid? I just think he should be here because of the way this movie is presented to us. It doesn't make sense that he's not. Regardless of like whatever Jaden Smith was doing in like film studio, whatever, or what their plans were, I don't know. But it just feels like in universe, Dre should be here. There is a pivotal moment where the pizza family and the Fong family connect, where Jackie Chan tells to the boxer, like, we're going to fix this. We're going to figure out how to get you some money, which of course leads to Lee joining the karate tournament. But he's like, I've got to go find this person that I know. And you're like, oh, like, who's that going to be? And it's like, it's really obvious that it's Ralph Macchio. But then he goes to Ralph Macchio's house and they don't even know each other. They have to meet each other. But he like shows up at his doorstep and he's like, he walks into his home unannounced. And then Ralph Macchio is like, you're an old friend of Mr. Miyagi, aren't you? What? And then Jackie Chan is like, I need you to drop everything and come to New York right now to like help me train this kid. And Ralph Macchio is like, no, like I can't uproot my life and go to New York for weeks. And then Jackie Chan is like, well, you will. And then he walks out of his house. And then like 10 minutes later, Ralph Macchio shows up in New York. And he's like, you always knew I would come, you sly old bastard. These people don't know each other. What is happening? It's presented to us as this like, getting the old dog out for one more go. As if they were like friends in the military 40 years ago or something. But like these people do not know each other. Jackie Chan knows Dre. Ralph Macchio knows Mr. Miyagi. Ralph Macchio like didn't even need to be in this movie. Frankly, he shouldn't have been in this movie. It doesn't really make sense. He doesn't do anything. But they think because you know the karate people that you're going to have like an emotional connection to these people interacting. But like you don't. These are people that like don't know each other. Stop fucking playing in my face, studio films, please. It's like if instead of Spider-Man No Way Home, where Dr. Octopus was like, hello, Peter, but it's more like the after credit scene of Morbius, where the Vulture is like, I don't know how I got here, but we need to do something dubious. Ralph Macchio is just like, I don't know why I'm here, but we've got to train some karate. Why? No, you don't. Like, what are you talking about? These characters just have zero reason to be interacting, and it kind of pissed me off when I was watching the movie. But okay, that's enough trashing the movie. Let's be positive. Let's be positive Paulsons, right? Let's let's give this movie some praise as positive, what's a name that starts with P? Positive Polly Pockets. Because I will say, the movie is not hopeless. It's not unenjoyable. It has fun and creative set design, nice cinematography generally, creative camera movement, all that jazz. New York looks good. I think they did a good job of like shooting New York to make it look like that kind of feeling that you want New York to have. Like if I think of movies where New York is really beautiful, like Home Alone 2 or something like that. This movie does a really good job of being like, oh, it's New York. So that's cool. There are many on-screen effects a la Scott Pilgrim, like combo meters, and some are cool, like the combo meter, or like sports brackets and tournament cutoffs that will feel pretty seamless, but some less so, like this really odd countdown element that just comes out of nowhere so awkwardly and isn't in sync with the music or on-screen editing. Don't worry though, this movie does have its fair share of ugly-looking green screen slop that gets lit in post, because it wouldn't be a modern blockbuster studio movie if it didn't. The movie's action is alright. Like I said, it has some weird editing and really weirdly placed slow-mo, like Zack Snyder wouldn't even do that. But other than that, like, it was fine. The action was good. It had some cool moments. One cool thing amongst all these training montages is I like this training drill where he has to like kick under the subway turnstile. That's like a cool thing to do in a Karate Kid movie, I think. Li Fong is considered to be the 4th strongest teenage fighter in the whole current modern-day Karate Kid Cobra Kai universe. Overall, I give Karate Kid Legends a 3 out of 7. I do think you should give the movie a chance if you avoided it when it came out in theaters because of its critical reception. It's on Netflix. It's on other websites. Check it out. I will say I'm like a little bit let down because the creative team behind this film are the same people who made The End of the World, a wonderful show. And to see bland writing come out of the people who wrote the very snappy, creative, fun dialogue in that show, it's odd. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like and sub, and definitely check out one of the other videos that are going to be on your screen if you enjoyed this. The absolute best way that you can support me here on YouTube is to watch more of my videos, so that would be greatly appreciated. Other than that, have a great day or night. Hippo out.